Hmm. Uh, yes, I am live. Salutations, Legion of Doom. This is your Time Lord wannabe, the Brainstormer of pop culture. How's everyone doing tonight? So I'm aware that this is not exactly normal for a podcast of the storm. Don't worry. Tomorrow we are still doing a regular scheduled podcasting, along with podcast number 20, doing the video response thing. Please, again, send videos there, 5 to 10 minutes, and it has to be kind of cringe, something for us to refute with logic and stuff. This here is because, well, I want to do this, because, well, I'm doing this on this channel because I can't. The way I would want to do it on the other channel is because I can't, and I, just I would go into the full backstory of that, but we don't have that kind of. I don't think you want me to waste an hour of me trying to explain that. So yeah, okay. So by the title, I'm sure you can guess that I'm doing my own version of Assassin's Creed movie. To be fair, I did enjoy the movie, but I'm very much aware of its issues. Also, the game's issues, even though I'm a fan of the series itself. So yeah, so I decided to create my own tale of the hidden war between the Assassins and the Knights Templar. Now, I'd feel I'd be writing this a lot longer for one video, thus this is a part 1. So please take note, I'm not trying to insult the filmmakers or the cast who made the original film. Like I said before, I enjoyed it, but I feel it was missing something that could have made it special. So to start off, I'm going to talk about the kind of philosophical debate of the movie. So this is going to be a debate of the differing creeds/oaths of the Assassins and Templars, which will revolve around the personal growth of the hero's journey of our main character. Give me a few moments while I get this. Oh, by the way, I will also be I will also be I will be playing some music in the moment. At the moment, uh, that is linked down below, along with the picture you are seeing in front of you. Just have to pull it up here. Okay. Later on, I will post a video. One of the videos I used that kind of inspired me to do this. So you will see that later. Just kind of have to wait for it. Okay. Yeah. All right. So starting with the Assassin's Creed, nothing is true. Everything is permitted. This explanation is of my own interpretation of the mantra. Please feel free to disagree with me in the comments below. I'd like to discuss. So, beginning with the first half, nothing is true. I personally believe that this is to mean that truth isn't lies we collectively believe, but simply our own subjective perception of what we define as truth. That we should never blindly follow something because we are told to. But we must always question and seek the truth ourselves, find all the facts, and determine ourselves what truth is by our own accords. And to quote Ezio Auditore de Firenze in Assassin's Creed Revelations, to say nothing is true is to realize what the Okay, sorry, I'm going to quiet that down a little more. But yeah, what Ezio Auditore de Firenze in Assassin's Creed Revelations, one of the big, major, popular characters of Assassin's Creed, what he says in Revelations, to say nothing is true is to realize that the foundations of society are fragile and that we must be the shepherds of our own civilization. And I do believe that. That society itself is in a constant flux of war and peace. So it is up to those who understand that we must be masters of our fates and of our own free will to follow the path of good and help others, so that it inspires them to choose a similar path, even if it differs. So they too inspire uh, others to choose a similar path, and improves the lives of all. So moving on to the second part of the creed, everything is permitted. For me, at least, is to say that we all follow our own codes, either they be moral, religious, or law, because maybe they be divine decree or man-made. We follow something we perceive to be higher than ourselves, or words that we as people use to frame and judge our actions by. Again, this can be subjective because all who live do so by dictating their own perceptions of what is right and what is wrong. To quote Ezio of Assassin's Creed Revelations again, say that everything is permitted is to understand that we are the architects of our actions and that we must live with their consequences, with whether glorious or tragic. I also agree with this. We are responsible for the actions we choose to do, and even if we are to reap the benefits or to suffer the consequences, we do so because we choose that road to travel. For we had the travel to do that, we we had the freedom. I don't know why I said travel. We had the freedom to do that. To quote Sir Isaac Newton's third law of motion, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. The same applies to the concept of one's actions. To reiterate, we are the architects of our actions. To blame others for our mistakes by our choices are unproductive. And if we are to blame anyone, it is to be ourselves and ourselves alone. Although the creed itself has a lot of differing philosophical arguments to be had, it does hold ironies within it. For the Brotherhood does hold tenets or principles slash rules for the assassins to follow, which contradicts the maxim nothing is true, everything is permitted. These tenets do seem to reflect the altruistic, while also being hypocritical nature of the Brotherhood. While they are technically thought of as the good guys, they are more realistically a very, very morally great organization, just like the adversaries, the Templars. And we'll go to them later. The first tenet is stay your blade from the flesh of an innocent, which on the surface is a noble rule. However, the Assassin Brotherhood frequently murders and assassinates those they deem enemies. Thus, this is the more prominent irony of the Assassins. With so many contradictions within the Creed and the Assassins themselves, what makes them so much better than the Templars? That's the question that shouldn't be asked because they are not. In fact, they are very similar, with both end goals being the same, worldwide peace and prosperity. The Assassins believe they can achieve that goal by giving humanity unrestrained freedom and knowledge, while it does still hold contradictions by allowing anyone to join, those who are not the cleanest of souls and can twist others into cold-blooded killers. Either way, like anything, the Brotherhood does have its strengths and weaknesses. So, moving along to the Templar Order, or the Order of Ancients, as it was known when it was founded in ancient Egypt, circa 100 BC. That is an estimate by me, due to I don't have an actual timeline for the games. Primary belief, their primary belief, the Templars, is that humanity is simply too destructive and inherently volatile. Like a stick of dynamite with a very, very, very long fuse that was lit since the conception of man. And one day it will blow and chaos will reign. So they seek to control nature by absolute control. Often this is by being politicians or controlling the money. Either way, they are often the ones who end up controlling the society, while the assassins are in the shadows, outcasted. Um, while they don't support a single ruler or empire, they support the ideals of authoritarian ideas by suppressing free will and thinking. Um, Ethan Kenway in Assassin's Creed 3 talked of freedom a little bit by saying it's an invitation for chaos, which is true. For beings like us, humans, we're given free range. If we were to be given free range with no limitation, then the world would be nothing but a land of carnage and destruction. There lies the fundamental problem with the Templars. They lack faith that people can change and be better, deciding that they know what's best for the people, like many tyrannical parties of centuries past. Unlike the Brotherhood, who give the individual the right to choose to be part of the Brotherhood or to live an ordinary life, it's the exact opposite for the Templars, who oppose their ideology, who impose their ideology onto many to join when they know of the Assassin Templar War. Failure to do so is death of the individual, who, by irony, joins the collective of the Order and becomes a face in a large sea of faces. Um, Once a part of the Templar Order, one is meant to serve dutifully, and without question. Failure to do so is death. Like the Brotherhood, the Templars are not without their rules, which are part of the pledge one takes as they are sworn into the Templar Order. Um, all right, I was taking a drink there, folks. While the Templars, okay, so sorry, they swear an oath as they are inducted. These rules are part of that oath, which are to uphold the principles of our order, never share our secrets, nor divulge the true nature of our work, do so until death, whatever the cost. Understand that these are rigid rules meant to be followed to the letter, which is a mirrored opposite from the tenets of the Brotherhood, as they are more free-flowing and less restrictive, but both are followed and held to high esteem by both parties. While while the Templars do things that can be seen as rather evil or malevolent, they are meant to keep in line. The Order is meant to keep in line the gray moral nature of both secret orders. The Templars do things like burning villages or installing dictators because they see it as a necessary evil to ensure humanity's cooperation, because the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, the greater good, as most would put it. Um, while their goal for humanity is a noble one, that being to lead humanity to enlightenment so they can transform the world into a self-sustained progressive utopia with our barbaric nature casted away, it is mulled down by various different factors that have plagued the Order since its inception. The various factors within the Order, from the moderate Templars who would try to influence humanity to have discipline and restraint, as well as opting for tighter and more centralized governmental control. There are more fanatical of the Templars would argue for the destruction of free will and complete control of the human race. It doesn't help that the Templars, in their goals, when powerful members of the Order abuse the power for their own use and avarice, which does prove the pessimistic viewpoint of the Templars on humanity, that they are vicious animals at heart. Templars insist that freedom is cause for chaos, ultimately threatening civilization itself. The philosophies of both Templars and Assassins are both flawed and legitimate all at once. Um, Even though one does seem more freeing, both are right in pursuing the goal of peace. I believe that there is a common ground that can be found that can be found by these two, but both orders are too stubborn see that, perceiving the other as eternal enemies. Even though in the past assassins became Templars and Templars became assassins, even Templars and assassins have worked together, in the past. Therefore, they are not two opposing sides, but merely the sides of a coin. Similar but different, but still part of the same coin nonetheless. So I propose a merger of the philosophies. While the assassins pro freedom and the Templars opt for order, why not have the freedom of choice, but also guide those to choose a path of betterment and innovation? Instead of blindly following, why not question and abide by a strict code of ethics and compromise once one sees the importance of a deal that benefits all parties? This merger of philosophies is the end goal of the main character, who must discover through their journey as an assassin. If you are to grant freedom, lead those to it with a firm hand of guidance. Although the grant freedom is to incite chaos, remember that wisdom grants freedom of avoiding making the mistakes of the past. As Edward Kenway said of the Creed in Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, if nothing is true, then why believe anything? And if everything is permitted, then why not chase every desire? It might be this idea is only the beginning of wisdom and not its final form. Thank you all for listening, and come back next time for the characters rundown. That will be next week, same time on Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That might be a longer video. And again, tomorrow we have the podcast at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be good. Also, next week, we have video responses, and please send in your videos to me. There is a Twitter thread I've made. Please search through my Twitter, which is, you can look at me at Brainstormer1. That is pretty much all I have to say. Thank you for listening, and remember, in brightest day, in blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Until next time, my legion.